The simplest way to put it, I have problems.
Welcome to a new episode of Pain Management. I'm your co-host, Jimmy Moynihan, and this is
I'm the co-host. I'm Roderick McDaniel. He's the host.
And our guest is already laughing at us, so that's a good start.
You looked at him like, we said we're going to do the guns.
Yeah, I did. I brought him up.
And you were like, oh, yeah. And he goes, thank God we got through that.
We did talk about the guns, but, so our guest is Colton Dowling.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on. And, so right before we started, you said you have trust issues.
Are you expecting us to ambush you?
Well, I mean, I'll talk about anything. I guess I'm kind of wondering, like, what am I? Do you want like my life motto?
Yes.
I can hear it.
I'll tell you, this is my life motto.
Okay.
Sometimes it's better if it was gonorrhea.
It's so true.
It's so true because you know what? You get the diagnosis, you fix it, you're healed.
Done. Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, well, we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So like, I wish it was gonorrhea.
Yeah, because you know how to.
Okay, I'm gonna live with that. I like that.
See,
you sold me on that one, and I was like, this is gonna be a hard sell. But he actually hit the hood, knocked around on the car, and said,
yeah, because otherwise, general anxiety disorder fucking sucks.
It does.
Because it's like they go like, I don't know, but you have that, and you're like, you did no work for this diagnosis.
Right. You just seem really nervous all the time. Bam. I feel like that's the easiest diagnosis to give, right? You seem anxious, and you can't really miss the mark. I mean, because like I feel like a lot of people that have generalized anxiety disorder also have other stuff.
Yeah, but I've also gave myself most of my shit. I don't use condoms. I have 7 kids.
Oh, we still talking about gonorrhea?
Yeah,
it is, and I will not.
Yeah, that was the diagnosis I got was I'm pregnant, and I kind of said I wish it was gonorrhea.
See,
I get it.
If at least 3 out of 5 kids were just gonorrhea, some of them might have gone to college.
Yeah, man. Some of them, I'm just like, wow, gonorrhea would have been so much cooler a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
No, I like this.
Where do you think your trust issues like stemmed?
Oh, just, intermittent parenting. They'd show up and they'd show off. And then I also was just thinking, so my therapist was like, oh, you have a lot of violence in your life. And I was like, no, I don't identify with having a violent past. But then we went through it. She goes, all right, this is way more than I thought you even had. So I want you to write a list of like the ones that stand out. We're going to do EMDR on you. And I was like, all right, got you. But then the one that's like keeps on coming up in my head is when I was 9 years old, I lived in England, and my friends, I thought, invited me to this like, I don't know, I called it Shrimbad, but it was like giant indoor water park.
Okay.
And I was like, this is sick. I'm like so excited. I thought all these kids hated me. And at that time, WWE was very big. So like wrestling was just like us pretending to do WWE shit. It was cool stuff. And we did WWE shit in that pool. And I remember being like, we're fighting hard today. This is a lot. And on the way home, the one nice kid was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, they only invited you because they wanted to drown you. They hate you. And I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And I was thinking like, should he have told me that? And I still think he should have told me that, but on the fucking way to get drowned. Like,
yeah. After you survived him saying, hey, the plan was to kill you.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I go, you know what? You didn't actually have to tell me that. Actually, when I was fighting them, I kind of picked up on that vibe, fuckface.
Right.
There's some hints being thrown around.
Yeah, you could have helped me after the fact. It's crazy how much because like you just with like childhood, you just kind of, okay, that happened and that happened. And it's usually not until, at least for me, until I've had therapy where I've dived in, and I don't like it. But it's healthy. But
you don't like diving in, or you don't like
I don't
your
like
past?
diving in into my past.
You don't know what you're going to unearth when they dive in.
I'm not making you dive in. You're diving in yourself.
No, I'm not saying now. I'm just saying.
He's like, no, don't do it.
I'm just saying it's tough to do. So kudos to you for doing
Well, it's
that.
interesting because I grew up in my dad was in the army, so I just moved to the next. Like, I never had to deal with those kids. Like, I never had to overcome being a bully. I just left them in England,
Right.
And then everybody in Colorado was like, "Oh, this kid's like just kind of weird."
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to bully him yet. And so I was like, I have skills like
I can maneuver this.
yeah. So
Try to
actually, I
stretch it
came
out.
in from England being kind of like hard bullied to America, where I feel like everybody was soft over here. Like I was swearing already, and they were like,
Nah, I started in the 4th grade.
"Yeah."
cool.
I remember the kids being like, "He said
Oh yeah.
the B word," and I was like, "Fucking right."
Yeah,
And
dude.
don't fucking try to drown me, neither.
Yeah, I came from New Orleans, and so like when you're the black kid in a white school because you're living in the suburbs, there's always one white kid that's going, I gotta hit him with a and now we're gonna see if he gonna fight me. And then I was throwing haymakers,
Yeah.
like all the way up. Then we moved to North Louisiana, and now it's like, oh, we're in another all white neighborhood, and I had a 3 o'clock fight every day after school. But you whoop enough ass, people kind of go, oh, that chunky black kid can throw some hands, leave him alone. Just don't say the N word around him anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was weird, man. It's
I just
weird.
didn't. No one gave you any skills to be like, all right, let them say it. You're fine, or like,
Right.
or how to negotiate that situation. No one gave you. My parents were like, sometimes people are going to be really mean to you because they're
Right.
different, and we don't know why you're different either. You're always the new kid. You're probably gay, but also you're going to be at least the new kid.
Yeah, they gave me. Well,
Let's
you
start
get
with the
that
new kid.
conversation when you're a black kid. You get the conversation about
Uh-huh.
there are people going to be trying to take you out at all times. And like I remember that in kindergarten and going, what? Because of my skin color? And that's a hard conversation to tell a kid starting school.
Yeah.
At 5, I'm just now trying to learn the ABC, and now I got to learn systematic racism also before I know how to do the alphabet.
Right.
So yeah, it's weird.
So, and were they like, hit them?
Oh no, my dad was like, man, look, I don't want you to ever start a fight or pick on anyone. But if somebody swings on you, beat the fuck out of them. And I was like, lesson learned.
Mhm.
So all that told me was when you get in a fight, like I was messed up. I remember I got expelled from school one time because this kid threw a punch, and I stepped back from the punch, and I saw he had one of those combination lockers. He had that in his hand, but the ring part was here. And so when I stepped back, I saw that on his hand, and I grabbed the back of his neck, stuck it in the locker, and just slammed the door on it repeatedly till his legs went limp.
Damn.
So I got expelled. And when they expelled me, they expelled me because the principal said, why did you keep slamming the door on him? I said he wouldn't bleed. And if he would bleed, I would have known he was hurt.
Oh, yeah.
But his legs went limp, and I didn't know if he was hurt. I just knew he wouldn't bleed.
It's a good way to get expelled.
So you got to go. And then I had to go before the superintendent of school boards. And
Why would you be honest in that situation?
That's what I was thinking.
What the fuck is wrong? That's actually the problem. Is
Yeah,
that you were honest.
I'm just telling him everything.
Yeah, sure, it was dark as fuck. What you were saying was serial killer shit.
Yeah, I just told him.
But why you said it was crazy.
I said it to him, and then they made me go to the superintendent of schools, and he's looking at my grades, and he's going, you have a 3.3 average. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what did you tell him? And I told him, and he said,
He wouldn't bleed.
why? And
Yeah.
I was like, look, he threw a punch. He had the locker here. If I can see the lock, that meant he was trying to connect with my temple and do me harm. That could have gave me brain damage if he connected. So at that point, I'm just trying to make sure he can't get up and hurt me. And that was all I wanted to make sure he couldn't do. And he was like, I get it, but do you hear what you're saying? I was like, yeah, I heard what I was saying. He would bleed. I would have known he's hurt enough to not get back up. Your legs going limp could be a trick. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is what's crazy is learning these lessons as a kid and not needing them as an adult. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It's like, so our bodies are just wired to solve problems that don't exist.
Yeah.
And we're just going, I think maybe this is going to happen right now, and it won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm walking around
Yeah.
like, how do I know he doesn't have a
Yeah.
combination lock in his hand? So you
Yeah.
gotta throw the punch. I was like, now I gotta kill this fool on a
Yeah.
Monday? No,
Yeah.
man, I had plans. I want to go to the movies tonight.
I know, but it's like our whole entire life is just wiring for short,
Yeah.
circuiting response reactions,
Yep.
so that it's like, oh, I can identify this. Let's make that an emotion. And instead, we're just like, how do we get close with people?
Yeah, no. Nobody taught me that in 4th grade.
Right?
Yeah. Nobody's like, hey, let's tune into our emotions and have quiet time. And nobody did that. growing up in Louisiana, it was like, I will thump you or I will be your best friend. You're going to get to choose which one is happening.
Yeah,
and that's all. And then they wonder why men walk around like, why do they only feel anger? I have a couple of ideas. A couple of my
I always think, I was going to my dad's wedding and I was like, in my head, I was going to have a problem with his son-in-law. Like, I was just like, he's super Christian. He has like 8 kids in Missouri.
Okay.
And he's like, like super homeschools all the kids.
Yeah.
I was like, he's gonna have a problem with me being gay. Like, I'm gonna have some problem. In my head, I was like, I might have to fight him. And like, at 0 point, is that true?
Right.
But your brain's ready for it.
But my
to
brain's
pop.
like, but you don't know that you're not gonna have to whoop this 40-year-old man's ass.
He's gonna be disrespectful. You gotta be ready to throw fists.
But I don't, because like I also grew up gay, so I'm also fucking sassy as shit. So I could just like put him down with words.
Yeah.
And that he will walk around with.
Yeah, and I can be sassy when I need to be, but you know what I can really be? Violent. I am way more violent than I am sassy.
He
and
wouldn't
both of them
bleed.
will make you leave me alone.
Yeah.
So the anxiety part of that, well, it's just like so much of my energy is put into anxiety, and my problem is like I'll have those thoughts, like the anxiety thoughts, like he's gonna hate me, I'm gonna have to fight him. And
Were you getting a lot of fights?
I didn't get into. I mean, I was punched a decent amount, but I never fought back.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you should have been to school with me, man.
Yeah, I was such a
I'd have
pussy.
just ticked you on. I was like, I got your fight. I can schedule
But
yours.
yeah.
I don't take yours.
Well, the one time I did fight back, this kid punched me right in the nose, and my nose bled. So what? I had come in late for a concert. We had like a show, concert choir, and
okay.
so like we had to wear like a tie and a shirt, and I got ready really quick, and I come in and he goes, Jimmy, you, and this is a guy that was bullying me a lot. Like I hated him. And he goes, Jimmy, you look like fucking shit. And I I just snapped and I pushed him as hard as I could. And he like barely moved. And then he just punches me square in the nose and my nose bleeds. And I bled all over my dress shirt and my tie. And so, yeah. And then I didn't do anything back. But
hey, Jimmy, I got to be honest. The other guy in that story sounds like something I may have done to some people, and I just want to say on behalf of that guy, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was gay. I was just in concert choir, not being gay.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's so.
I never thought about that part. You're like,
dude. Thank you.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
I really did need that closure.
And if I had any love at my house, I wouldn't have been coming at you. And I thought you were gonna fucking do something to me, so I preemptive striked on you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I think that's happened to a lot of us, man.
Yeah, I mean, I probably was like, if I convince everybody else you're weird, then they won't ask anybody if I'm gay.
That's probably what it was.
Dude,
too.
I was manipulative as shit with people's identities. Just be like, okay, how can I expose them so nobody comes at me?
Wait, what year were you born?
90.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, but I grew up in Colorado. Like, I went to high school in Colorado Springs, which is like, conversion gay therapy camps. Like, like just the most amount of homophobia in one little city.
Yeah.
Evangelical loving Christians just being fucking. Is my camera on me? Okay, cool. Because I'm looking at it. It looks a little left, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah, Justin.
I like how you stopped in the middle of that story to go, hold on, let's check this guy. That was gay. That was hella gay. And I was like, this motherfucker is good at this. Okay. Like, this is one of the professional gays we got today. This ain't no amateur gay. This is real, okay?
We'll do it live.
Woo, I aspire to be you, sir. That level of professionalism. Wait, what camera is on me? Okay.
So did that fuck with you a little bit? Just like having all that church and conversion and being around that, and then like growing up being like, oh shit, I'm gay.
Yeah, I definitely had RTS, which is religious trauma syndrome, and I feel like there was a lot of things that I think I was running from. That was the trauma of all the things that we could go into and talk about. But after I went from rehab, you kind of fucking like zero out, and it's either if you realize that if you spend your life not doing stuff, you have a void. And so to fill your void, you kind of start bringing in positive things, and you realize if you have enough positive things, there's not enough hours in the day to even consider the negative things. Right. So, I mean, while yes, all that fucked me up, and I was super mad at Jesus for a long time. Wow. I'm like, I know the Bible more than most people, like most Christians, because I had to be like, I have to prove it wrong. But like, the whole thing's so silly that that every verse is you're gonna find something, right? And they'll be like, yeah, but like faith. Fuck. I thought I got him. It was like trying to get Donald Trump in jail. It's like, all right, we're gonna get him. You're not gonna get him. It's not happening.
I've been kicked out of churches because of what you just did. Yeah. Because I argued, my best friend was gay when I argued, Jesus never said anything about home. Like, to me, if I go back to the Bible and I was breaking it down, I said, New Testament, Jesus never says one word about homosexuality. Paul in the New Testament, very vocal about it. And I said, let's just look at it. Well, the whole word is, inspired by the Spirit of God. And I was like, just seems to me, if God would have had a problem with it, it should have been in the top 10. The 10 commandments. There should have been a thing. Hey, look, don't cheat, don't lie, don't murder. Don't fuck your best friend. Okay, that's weird. Like, he should have put it in the top 10.
He should have said, don't cover your neighbor. Yeah. That's in there.
Yeah.
Don't be jealous of your neighbor. Oh, everybody in America is jealous of their neighbor.
Everybody's covered. Oh, those fucks got a new car. We're getting one too.
Yeah.
And Carlin used to say, we buy all this shit to impress people we don't even like. Yeah. And we're all covetous. That's all coveting. But at the same time, nobody wants to talk about that. They're just like, the trans and the gays are messing up America. And I went, no, it's your cousin Bubba that gets his news on Facebook. That's what's messing up America.
Yeah. I actually only have one. I think if we change just one thing in politics, a lot of it's going to be fixed. Do you have a guess?
I would limit Congress.
Well, how?
I wouldn't let them have those lifetime appointments, man, because I think congressmen are the worst. We limit our president. Let's limit those congressmen.
I go back and forth because we want we want a knowledgeable government that knows what they're doing. But okay, I'll just tell you.
My guess is social.
I don't know why. Wrong.
This is a very gay episode.
Hey, you're gonna have trust issues too after this. What stupid thing you got?
This feels like one of those after-school specials. This is a very special after-school special. I was like, this gay guy attacked me for an hour. Okay, what is it?
Is it social media?
No.
What is it?
It's campaign finance laws. If we didn't have billionaires pouring in and like changing the news cycle, basically Fox News, CNN are both bought by or funded by these billionaires who then get to like choose the news story. Right. So then everybody gets mad about the news story instead of being like, why is that billionaire fucking me right now or like doing anything? If we change campaign finance laws, we basically would have a real democracy instead of a oligarchy.
And that was the whole thing about why the lobbyists were so powerful, because the billionaires are like, well, I'm not going to give them the money, but I'm going to give this money to this lobbyist who's then going to go argue this thing for my company that's going to benefit me. And I used to think that was a great meme when they said, hey, congressmen should wear the uniforms like NASCAR so we know
that's my favorite one.
Them. I love that idea. I was like, I want to know who you're bought
I like
by.
that.
I want to know who's in the pocket. But you can kind of figure it out. Like, I'm a gun owner. And I own a lot of guns in case you ever want to come to my house and start something. Just like, I'm still very violent.
I want a gun so bad.
I have
one.
But I want a handgun.
I have
Me too.
I have a 9, I have a 45, I have shotgun. I'm a gun owner.
Do you have a hookup for guns?
Yeah, I go to a store. I'm black. I gotta buy them legally. I'm still a black guy in Texas.
I just meant like, my friend owned a gun shop, or like I go to this gun show. I mean,
I just hung out with a bunch of veterans. They do take me to gun shows.
Okay,
all the time,
I was just gonna go to Cabela's, but I felt like,
dude, go to the Bass Pro Shop out in Round Rock.
Okay,
definitely always have sales on handguns.
I love a sale.
Sales on handguns.
I love a sale. I can't even go into Walmart because I'm like, that's such a good deal for
Everything's
this pillow.
on sale all the time.
I love guns, man. But that's my thing is, like, as much as I love guns and grew up with gun culture, I also think, hey, man, sometimes we probably should limit some of this stuff that we have out here. Like, I love AK-47s and I love AR-15s, but I don't need one to kill a deer. The AR, if you come to my house and there's an AR-15 in there, it is 100% to take a person out who kicks in my front door. That's what the pistol grip shotgun's for. I have guns that say if you break into this house, you're gonna find out if Jesus is real. That's every gun I buy. That's what I think when I'm buying.
Man, if you lose your mind and your call sign is a fucking one of those locks on his finger, shouldn't have done that.
The master lock, which was probably why I was mad because master was in there too.
Damn.
So I'm like, now I gotta kill everybody.
Who's master now?
This is why I got into comedy, because it's the only place where I can be like, you know what? I like making people laugh more than making their legs go weak because I'm trying to kill them. So yeah, as long as I do this, we're all safe.
Honestly, he should have gotten expelled for assault with a deadly weapon.
Oh yeah, no, because I thought so too, but yeah, they did not. I think he got suspended. I got expelled and had to go before the school board.
Oh,
and
I would
then,
have been. Yeah,
I had issues with that too. But it's like, what's the difference between me and this guy? Okay, I can't figure out the difference between me and this guy, but I do know he never threw another punch at me.
Yeah.
I graduated high school very friendly with everybody. Everybody was super nice. I don't know if they were scared of me, but they were very nice to me after that day.
I bet.
Never fought again the rest of my high school career after that. Like, I was just like, I get to be on the honor roll. And
what's wild
talk about
is
the cure.
I would sue that kid's parents. I would sue that kid. I would make sure that he served time if I was your dad, but I don't have kids. So I can't help anyone.
I think at that point, after I did that to him, they were like, Roderick did enough. He suffered enough. They let him go. He
and then
took
you
his
joined
L.
the Navy, huh?
Yeah, I went to the Navy. And I loved look, I was one of those guys that loved the Navy, but I'm also really pissed at the military because right now they're trying to say they don't owe me money for my PTSD. They say, we believe you were in a war zone and we can see that you do have PTSD, but we're not sure if that's service connected. And I was like, I didn't just go over there to get a tan, I didn't just show up in Iraq one day like, oh my God, spring break. No, you made me go there, but that's not service connected. So we're having a fight about that right now.
Huh.
Jesus Christ.
Interesting.
How do they prove that it's not?
Yeah, that's what I think. You should have to prove that it's not service connected, not me having to prove that it is.
Also, I feel like if you go to Iraq during wartime, fucking help out a veteran.
I was on the ship when it hit a mine.
Yeah.
I'm showing them all this stuff. Like, I was on board this ship.
You've seen
when
action.
it got shot at. You know that combat action pin you gave me? Here it is right here. Would you like to see a picture of it? It's in it's in the records. It's my DD-214. And they're like, yeah, but it's not service related. And I'm like, it's not?
Wait, what is that? Because, what was your job?
I was an operations specialist.
Okay.
So I was in the combat information center on the ship. So like I'm tracking enemy aircraft, enemy ships. I got a picture on everything. I'm reporting to the electronic warfare guys that do the CWIS, the one that shoots the 50 calibers.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to those guys, and I'm like, yeah, I got it tracking it this way. Closest going to come to us within 100 yards at 270. I could tell you all this shit. I could still track an aircraft if you wanted me to. But
I don't need you to.
Yeah. I was just saying, if we ever got to do some shit, I'm on your team. I got you. We're shooting
can you tell
aircraft.
me about the aircraft that went into the Pentagon? I don't know anything about that.
I saw it, but I'm not on duty. That's your problem now since it's not service connected.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of those things. I used to do all that crazy shit, and then all of a sudden they were like, yeah, you were in Combat Information Center, and you done all, but what about the bullets that hit the side? Nah, that's still not service connected. So. Oh yeah, dude. I went in messed up, because I think every black guy in the South has got PTSD from being a black guy in the South.
You can't even sleep without your facing the door, you said, right?
Yeah, I do it in the night. Like there are times where I'll wake up and I know my back's to the door and I'll flip right back over.
Wow.
But then I'll also, I have to fall asleep facing it.
Facing the door.
And now I've gotten to the point. It's not as bad, but what happened is I have a 5-year-old granddaughter that comes and stays at my house now. And 5-year-old kids don't know grandpa's got, PTSD, or he will get up kicking and screaming if something touches him in his sleep. So she would come into the room, just kick the door open and run over and, Grandma, Grandpa, and jumped through the air. And one time she hit my foot. And I went, who the fuck's in here? And I jumped up out the bed.
Wow.
And I was in a fight pose, and she just, this look of horror on her face, and I watched her run. And I went, now I feel like shit. So I just start locking the bedroom door. I just got to lock it, go to sleep. If she's spending the night, unless she's in there, and even if she comes to spend the night and she's like, Grandpa, I want to watch TV with you, and she falls asleep in there, I leave the TV on Disney all night for her.
Yeah.
And then I fall asleep.
Oh.
And then, so she falls asleep, and then I'll look up and I'll say, I'll just turn the sound down. That way and put the remote on the bed, so she's going to turn that up when she gets up in the morning. I'm not getting up. I'm done. Just don't touch me, kid. I know you're there.
My dad
so
was that way too. We'd always like tap him and then like back up, tap him.
You got to hit the foot and back up, because man, if you're up here, I can swing. Oh my God,
very close. In fact, I think he did hit me one time, and he goes, "God damn it, don't stand so close."
Yeah, they're telling me.
He was like, "Yeah,
I'm a foot guy. Hit my foot if I'm asleep."
And then back the fuck up for sure. My husband has like, he'll just wake up screaming, and I was since my therapist made me make the list, I was thinking about like, he has like bad sleep problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I think you have a lot of like sleep trauma. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you know, your mom always used to bring over men at night and you just hear random stuff at night and you didn't know what was going on. He goes, yeah. I go, remember that one time that burglar came in and was in your room with you and your brother and you like woke up and he was standing there? He's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'm like, what?
Yeah, man.
What?
Just forget all that shit.
Like, yeah, he just would wake up screaming. I don't even sleep with him in the same bed because, like, if he falls asleep, like, if he was like fall asleep cuddling like this, like he's choked me a couple times.
Oh my God!
Like, no.
Yeah, no, man.
Or just like
people don't know. Like when you're with a veteran, Lord, you just don't know what your bag of trauma is going to be with that fool.
Yeah, I mean, it's not worth the uniform, but it is really hot.
Yeah.
Fuck them and leave them, guys.
That's
you know what? I actually endorse this program. He's right. Fuck me and get out of my house, please. Yeah, I have to say that. I should have said that to all three of my ex-wives, because that's who I should get to go in there, talk to them. Like, here are three women that were married to me that can vouch that I do have PTSD and was a different person when I came back. They had to go through this shit. Like the guy that she married that went overseas is not the husband she got back. She got back this thing that was like, he's really good with the kids in the daylight hours. And he's really nice at night. But when he goes to sleep, he's a werewolf. I just needed to say that one time.
Yeah. We should get her in there.
I got to.
That feels like a fun Antoine Fisher.
Yeah.
I'm still standing. I'm still strong.
So how has anxiety... So Colton Dowling is a stand-up comedian for folks. Probably should have said in the beginning. But what I was curious about is, how does your anxiety affect your comedy?
How has it, or how does it?
How
currently?
has it? Like for me, it's like I'll stress constantly, be anxious about like where I am, where I'm standing in comedy, what's gonna happen, all the unknowns.
For sure. Even my pre-show ritual is like you have nothing to say and everyone fucking hates you. So.
Yeah.
and I'm like, even if it's like, God, what are you gonna say for 8 minutes? It's like I could do it like a full hour with no sweat at all. But my pre-show ritual is, you're a fucking moron. So I don't know if that's anxiety, but I think that it's odd because all of the things that make me funny are defense mechanisms for the way I grew up. So, I mean, if I even just like putting myself in the state of stress or anxiety actually kind of brings all of those survival things up. And so turning perspective, or like shifting focus, or personally attacking people, or like, you know, also I'm the third of four in a military family. So I was very much the, like, everyone's fine. It's okay. I know she's mad and she's hitting you, but like, we have to respect her authority. Okay. like, rules are rules. And definitely, I mean, getting out of trouble by being funny was like the thing that pissed all my other siblings off.
Yeah.
Of like, why doesn't he have any consequences? It was like, 'cause that guy's fucking hilarious.
You can really get away. You can get away with a lot when you're funny, and especially when you know how to use it and know how to diffuse things. And I was really good at diffusing tension as well with humor. And you know, I'd make my parents would be yelling at me, angry. I fucked up, and in the middle of it, I would start making them laugh, which I thought was cool. It's just like I used it, and then and I think it like bleeds into my desire to get on stage now and be funny. It's just ingrained in me.
I always feel like comics just need to be validated and loved.
Yeah.
And that's why we're on their stage a lot of times. We're like, I just need that little validation hit.
That's for sure. But it's also like we were saying earlier, it's like we were wired for all of these problems that aren't solved anymore. And so now we have all these tools and we're like, oh, you guys want to see the tools?
Yeah, that's really
and they're like,
tool belt.
yeah, it's fucking sick,
exactly
dude.
it,
And
yeah.
we're like, well, I sometimes call people gay.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
such a good way to look at it. Because we don't have those threats anymore at all. Like they don't exist.
They're all made up in your head.
Well, they're all made up. Yeah.
I think I heard somebody say something like, you need boundaries to know who you are, but if you let those boundaries become a prison, then you get stuck forever. So it's like living in the prison of your own mind is one option for life. The other one is figuring out how those boundaries help or hurt you and kind of bobbling your way, ping-ponging like this up until where you want to go. I don't know.
Right.
That's true.
What are some of the boundaries?
I can't do cocaine anymore.
Right.
It's a hard boundary.
I think that was a good one to set, though. I'm going to be honest with you.
Anyway, I didn't say no. I said yes until they locked me up.
He's like, maybe I should drop that cocaine. I agree.
Yeah,
Okay.
somebody else set that boundary for me, but they were so right about it. But it's weird because I can still be grateful for that awful time in my life. It's like, first of all, I can recognize that what I was doing was like helping my imposter syndrome by artificially altering my confidence with cocaine, right? And then the depression that comes with the cocaine and the suicidal thoughts and all of that is actually like really helpful because you are destroying your relationships and you are alone. You are alone as you feel because you keep on pushing everybody away because you're afraid that if they see you, then they'll hate you as much as you hate yourself. So it's like all those feelings, while they hurt and they suck, they're actually really helpful because you can actually go like, well, what would you need to actually improve that if you didn't have cocaine?
Wait a minute. Y'all mean cocaine makes you suicidal and depressed?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you
I
don't
was
have
out
it.
here just raw dogging those feelings without cocaine, and y'all telling me I could have just cut to the chase with the drug?
Well, cocaine helps with imposter syndrome because it just like makes you so confident. So so that part was artificially helped, but then the come down, I was like, the amount of times I would just be at my house just crying and be like, I fucking hate myself. And my husband was like, well, how did you do cocaine again tonight? I go, that's not the problem.
Oh, God.
The problem is that I'm sad.
I have learned so much about cocaine, man. I did not know that.
And I've learned after getting clean that you can just like fake that kind of confidence. I mean, it's like, because I had the same thing with coke. You just feel, you feel like there's fearless. You're just, and then for me, it was calming. And it was just, but now I just have to fake. Do you find it hard to
sounded like you were going to admit something and then you were like, but I don't want to be alone in that.
I didn't know where you were going, Jimmy, but I was
Jimmy,
here for you if you want to add it, okay?
I'll tell you what, it's probably...
I miss cocaine.
That was the realest fucking moment of this podcast.
Yeah, no, I find that the more curious I am, the less anxious I am. Because anxiety is the same chemical as adrenaline, as excitement, which is adrenaline.
Yeah.
So if you are anxious, you're probably excited about something or you're nervous about something.
Right.
So if you start to be curious about what it is that might be making that happen, you're like, what's different about tonight? It's like the same thing with microdosing shrooms. It's just like cocaine and imposter syndrome. Shrooms is the artificial or like the catalyst to curiosity. because you're constantly going like, what's going on with that color?
Right.
What's going on here? It makes you more mindful.
Right.
So
right.
if you don't want to do shrooms, you don't have shrooms, you're anxious, just go like, well, what's different about this room right now?
Yeah, because the shrooms I did do that. In fact, I actually, when I was high on shrooms, I was sitting there going, who was the first person that ever introduced toxic masculinity into my life?
Right.
And like, I really just sat there with it and thought about it and journaled about it. And when I came out, I was like, I feel a lot better because I addressed something that needed.
Right. You were curious about your own life.
Yeah. I was like, how many times was I the toxic problem? I just kind of went down the list, man. And I know it was when I put that guy's head in the locker. I know.
No, that to me, I'm still on your side. That was self-defense.
Oh, yeah, it was, man. Would I do it again? Yes. But I would have also taken shrooms after that fight.
Yeah.
I would have done more kicking and less slamming.
Yeah.
It's a little less slamming.
I could have just kicked his legs from under and made him go limp. And I said, yeah, he's good.
The curiosity thing, I just really like because that's kind of what I need to do more. Because like I'll just feel a feeling and just accept that feeling and not do any looking into why I'm feeling that way.
Oh, yeah.
So...
But yeah, and my therapist
Feelings
told me
are
don't fight
fucking
it.
bullshit.
He
Well,
always
they
tells me,
are.
don't
They
fight your
are.
feeling. It's just the weather. I tell you that all
Right.
the time. It's your feelings are the weather. You're the planet. You're not the weather. So just acknowledge it. Hey, I feel this. That's the rain. That's the
Being
sunshine.
mindful.
That's the fog. And let it.
I
Move
do.
on.
I like that, but I also like to look in the mirror and go like, if this person was telling me this is the way they're feeling, would I do what I'm doing right now? It's like, do you think that it would be helpful for this person to be like, well, have you told yourself that you hate yourself for 5 minutes? Just do it for 5 minutes. Tell yourself that you're a fucking idiot. Okay, just try it. It might help. It might help. But so it's
Microdose some self-hatred. Have you done
Right.
that?
So if you're feeling anxiety,
Right.
it's actually
Yeah.
funny to be like, wait, my body's being like, okay, so you're at a pizza shop, just full adrenaline. What?
Yeah.
How'd that help?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's funnier that our bodies are so dumb with feelings that I actually
100%.
appreciate them. We're like, actually, is this anything like that moment in the locker? Or am I just, my brain just being lazy and be like, no, it's that.
Oh, yeah.
It's that. No, it's definitely that.
Oh, that's definitely your brain. My brain's a lazy piece of
It's
shit.
so
'cause
lazy.
Every time it goes to, oh my God, you're behind on a car payment. You should kill yourself. And I'm like, what? That was the option? You didn't? Don't put the bill on auto pay. Just kill myself.
That's
like my brain is a piece of shit, dude. I was like, why are you telling me conspiracy theories about myself,
It's
brain?
fucking dumb. And that's why I loved mushrooms, because I was always able to step outside of myself and look at why. I mean, it was like I was literally just looking in and like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And there was so many obvious things I would notice, just like of behaviors and and so like to be able to do that consistently and not just every time I trip on mushrooms would be so beneficial.
dude, yeah.
Staying in the present and like you said, just looking around a
Yeah.
room.
I may do that next. I may do that room thing today. I have some time.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Hey, you'll be in a room somewhere.
I'm gonna be in a room.
You
I'm
might
gonna
be in a car, you
room
might be
I know
somewhere.
this week, and I would just be like,
At some point, you'll be in a room.
Yeah.
what's going on with this place? Why don't
Especially when it's actually really helpful when you feel that feeling. You're like, okay, something's happening, something triggered it. Why?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's always
Yeah.
most of my issues I know are because I was homeless one time. And-
One time for
Yeah. What after I got out the military?
For 12
for a
years.
day. Or
Oh no! Like
One
I was at
time-
a homeless shelter, probably for 30 days. at
Okay.
least. Yeah. It was. I did the homeless thing.
Okay.
And it was to get out of a relationship that I was in. And so I was like, I'd rather be in a homeless shelter struggling than in this house with this
Wow.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I will kill her if I stay here.
Mhm.
And I was just like, I can't kill her, so I got to go.
Yeah.
So I went to a homeless shelter, but I remember being in there and it was just kind of that whole thing where your body starts to, like you're starting to reroute your whole life path. Like, how did we get here?
yeah.
Roderick, let's think about this. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm all about that. I'm gonna be in a room and I know I'm gonna have that feeling. I'm gonna just be like,
Yeah. I was homeless
Why are
in
we here?
Paris for about 2 weeks. And then eventually I got enough money to stay at a brothel, which is 30 euros. And it was like the most disgusting fucking place in the world. And I just remember like, what the fuck am I doing? Do you need me? My car's getting towed?
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Chris fucking crazy guy?
Dude, is she talking about that homeless dude that was out front?
Yeah.
Okay, so who is that? Okay, this is the break of the show. So that homeless guy, when I came up, he was talking to me and he was like, hey, bro, I need you to come over here and tell Darren that I've always been down. And I'm like, I don't even know you, bro. Who are you?
That I've always been down?
Yeah, I'm vouching for you. I don't even know you, man.
Oh, my God.
Like, are we reffing fights for the homeless now?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's so hard to know how to be helpful humane in downtown, and people had to have opinions on homeless people. Like, okay, name 3 people that you know that are homeless right now, like their names. And you're like, oh, I don't know any. Go, okay. So then we'll get the fuck out of my life. I go, Candy P. I could talk about Candy P for fucking a whole week. And I know you guys can't too. It's the bald lady with the diaper.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of course you know Candy P. Yes, we all know Candy P. Golf right down there. He's always just like opening the door for you.
Yeah.
Oh, right at the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love him.
Okay.
Love him. But
it's so funny that people have opinions on homeless people. You don't know any.
You don't know.
I have opinions on homeless people because I live with them in a homeless shelter. And some of the stories you hear in there are crazy.
Yeah.
Like one of those guys that I remember I was in Amarillo when this happened. And there were friends of mine in Amarillo that did not even know I was in the homeless shelter. Like, you could have came and stayed at my place. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I've got to figure this out on my own. I remember being in there and they were telling stories. You'd always meet a guy, but that's old Mike. What was his story? And he'd say, oh, he's addicted to drugs and he's got an alcohol problem, but he used to be this. He was also a lawyer, but there was this one guy at the homeless shelter I was at, and they were like, yeah, that guy was a doctor here in this town for years. And I went, well, what happened to him? His wife died. What? Unexpectedly. High school sweethearts. Married right after, I think they married when he was going through med school.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were together like years. And she died unexpectedly when they were young, and it broke him. And so he would mumble. Like, I'd hear him mumbling stuff, but it sounds like he was doing like, yeah, so what they need to do is take like 17 milligrams of this, but they would probably deal with this. Like, he's doing
Jesus
doctor shit.
Yeah, doctor shit. He's mumbling because I heard him one time, and I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? And they told me, no, his wife died and it just broke him. He can't deal.
Damn.
So he couldn't process it. Had no way to articulate those feelings he was feeling.
Yeah.
And so he just mumbles doctor shit, but he was a medical doctor. Like, he was known. He was a family doctor in that town.
Damn.
I mean, that's clearly a trend with homeless people here in Austin, is that most of them appear to be very mentally ill.
Oh, yeah.
And is there any help for them? Like, are they? I don't think there is there?
That's a great question, and I have no idea.
No, and that's terrible that I don't know either, because I worry about that.
My mom is one of those where
know.
She's always like, oh my God, this is going to get down to 20 tonight. And I'll be like, yeah, she said, when it gets down to 20, at least this many homeless people die a night. And she knows all these facts. And she's like, do you have a homeless shelter that you donate money to? I'm like, I was in it. I am the charity I'm donating to. I do I'm 3 paychecks away from being out there with them.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
I get it, ladies.
My husband's brother is bipolar schizophrenic, and there's a word that it is the thing that he is, but I don't know that word.
Yeah.
But he has to be taken care of and like take a shot every like month, or he just fucking
goes off the
loses
reservation,
it, and he'll like go give all this stuff away, like their stuff away, because he's like, we don't need it, and they're also like super Catholic, so like some of the voices in his head are God, and some of them are aliens, and some of them are angels, and I'm like, yo, you guys put like him in a fictional world, and you're gonna be like, why don't you know what's real? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then they try to treat his schizophrenia with Jesus, and I'm I don't think that's the right treatment for him.
Yeah, don't give him another invisible guy to talk to.
Right.
Because I told
because especially because they in the Bible they go like, and Jesus said, and God talked to him, so then he goes like, it happens sometimes. Sometimes that voice in your head is God.
I got an ex-wife that believes every night God talks to her and sends her words, and I'm like that. That also happens with the schizophrenic, and then she'll tell me stuff like, God said that this is going to happen and this is going to happen, and some of it I'll be like, okay, the odds of that happening were really good, and then other times things will happen, and I'll be like, well, that didn't even pan out the way. So
She's like, God said Tim Waltz is gonna be VP pick.
Oh my! Oh, her favorite was God told me to vote for Donald Trump, and I asked her one time. I said, "Well, did God not know about all the adultery and the porn stars?" And she was like, "What does that mean?" I said, "Well, look, I read his book, and it didn't seem like he was real cool on the whole idea of adultery. But if he's lessening that now."
Yeah, maybe it's more chill.
We could get back together, and you just can't talk to me about it if I cheat. Okay, so I'm just saying, if God's cool with it, you got to be cool with it. But that's not funny, and not everything's a joke. I'm just saying, why would you vote for the adulterer? That just seems like that goes against your book. You're always saying that God told you to
that
vote
they're
for.
Christian and like Donald Trump. That is weird.
Yeah, some of that just doesn't line up.
It's just because of the pro-life thing. Most Christians are. Almost all Catholics that, not all, but a lot of Catholics that support Trumpers just because he's more pro-life.
Which is crazy because I would love to know how many abortions he's had.
Oh.
There's no way he hasn't had at least 3.
Yeah.
I'm gay. I've had 1.
Yeah.
All those Republican candidates, I think, have funded one.
Of course.
But except Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, no one would fuck him.
He's gay.
Is he really?
He's a closeted homosexual.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
In fact, Marjorie Taylor Greene just tweeted at him because he was coming at her and she just goes, "You're gay."
Wow.
Which is so funny. And I was like, I actually, there's some things about Marjorie that I'm like, you're crazy for sure, but you are also sometimes so funny.
My favorite Twitter beef was when she got called bad built beach blonde.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was like, she read you, girl.
She did, but she also she started, it was like, I don't know if you could read it with those fake eyelashes.
Yeah. Wow. She came at her and I said, Marjorie, you don't go after a black woman's eyelashes. Here she comes. She got you now. Yeah. She got you, girl.
It was good.
Yeah.
Then she's showing videos of her working out. Hi, my bad build. And I'm like, oh, you should have put more clothes on for this video. You turned me gay, Marjorie.
Marjorie.
No.
Yeah, I love politics. It's so drama to me, even though I know that none of it's real.
Yeah.
I think it's like my WWE.
Yeah.
I go, it's not real.
Right.
This person doesn't care about this.
Of course.
They're bought by a billionaire.
Yeah.
And I go,
it's fun to
still
follow.
fun to follow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is the greatest thing I've heard this week, man. It is the WWE.
Yeah. And they go, and they always go, it's not real. I go, I know it's not real.
Well, shut up. I'm trying to.
I know.
It's
I know
real
they
to
don't
me,
care
damn it.
about the tampons in the bathroom. No one cares about the tampons in the bathroom, but it's a fun storyline.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
When it's like the gayest politician is also the one that passes the most homosexual community harming laws. He's like, I authored that bill, and I'm like, you were just blowing a dude in the bathroom last week, and now that's on the news, sir. The guy you blew is now on TV talking about you. We know how it curves.
Man,
how could you pass that law?
That's gotta suck to blow a guy as a politician, and then you turn on the TV and you see him talking. You have to be like,
Bobby likes this. And then you're going
panicked.
Wait, and then everybody pulls up. Well, here's how he voted on every issue that affects the black and gay community. And I'm like,
you hypocrite.
But I say that about black Republicans all the time. They always act like, I always think they're Steven from the Django Unchained. Every time. Every black politician that's a Republican has a look. And I'm just like, and I have that look. I get it. Like, I know, like, he's got a white lady in his life. Yes, we do. And he lives next to a golf course. Yes, I do. I'm always going through the checklist of black. I was like, am I a Republican? Oh, God.
That's Samuel L. Jackson, right?
Yeah, he was Steven, like, funny. Don't mess with the masses. That's
my favorite line that I'm not allowed to say. And
I know it.
Wait, which one do you think it is?
The one where he was talking about the nigga on the horse, when he was like, why this uppity nigga on that? It kills me when he comes in. I was like, this is the most.
Why is that on that nay?
I know it. Yeah, he was mad about it too. I was like, Steven, look, I'm not even political, but black Republicans, they're just like, have you seen them? And here's the thing, okay, because it's going to get outed when this episode airs. I was a hardcore Republican.
Yeah.
All the way up to 2012. Like, I voted Republican more than once in my life.
Yeah.
And it's kind of thing, we all start liberal. Then I went to the military. Then I started watching who was passing those bills to get me a raise when I was getting shot at. And I went, a lot of Republicans there. Maybe I should be one of those. And then in 2012, when that damn Tea Party started, it was like, I'm still black at the end of the day, and I'm noticing how many of these guys are like former Grand Wizard of the KKK running on the Republican ticket. Former...
Right, but you know why the Tea Party started. That's the Koch brothers. All this shit is billionaire oligarchs, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Throwing that money in.
I just learned that phrase. It's so funny to me. Whatever, you don't want to say
somebody else on TikTok a lot.
Nope. I watched it on HBO.
Okay.
Fantasmus, great show. I voted for, my first election was McCain, Palin. I voted for them.
Oh, wow.
And then the second time was Romney and
Obama.
Yeah, but I was trying to remember his running mate.
Oh, the
Anyways,
VP.
I voted wrong twice, so I'm not allowed to vote anymore.
Wait, why can't? What do you mean?
No,
wait. Those are the two most worst choices I possibly like. Obama or Mitt Romney.
Right.
Obama or McCain. Like I
Right.
would look back and think like, God, I wish we still had Obama. Like,
Right. Oh yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
Obama was so cool.
But I was messed up. I was so deep into my brainwashing at that time. I remember saying, I want a black president, but I don't know if I want this guy to be the first black president. And I remember saying that and then going, why am I saying that? I don't know shit about this dude. And then I realized at that time I was in one of those mega churches.
Yeah.
I'm miserable in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just following the party line. And the party line back then used to be, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. That was just their fucking battle cry. And I'll tell you what broke me. I was a manager at the GameStop, and all the kids that were working for me, 3 of them came out to me, and like they told me before they told their parents. And I was just kind of like, you're at a point in this point in your job, in your career, in your life where you're actually mentoring young men. And if they trust you enough to share this with you, you probably need to think for yourself and wonder if your religion is actually helping these men on their journey or harming them. And I was done with the church that day because I couldn't reconcile the two. So I was like, I need to be a better human being. And instead of just quoting these lines that they give us at church, maybe I should really think about it. And one day, one of my buddies was telling me this story about him and his boyfriend. I met his boyfriend before his parents did. He brought him to me, and we had lunch. It felt like he was like, I want you to meet my dad. So that was kind of what happened. So I went to the lunch, and he was telling me this thing, and I was talking to him about, hey, how do you feel about the whole thing about gay marriage? And he was like, I got other issues that I won't solve. But he said, if I was dying, my boyfriend, if we get married, could not come into the hospital with me if I'm dying because we're not married and he's not family. He can't come and be in that hospital room next to me as I'm dying. And he was in a car accident shortly after that almost did kill him. And I could never stop thinking about him being in that hospital room and almost dying. And so I would go sit up there with him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if he does die, I'm going to be here with him. But after that, I was like, I don't think me and this church are going to get along because I think if you're in love with somebody and that's your partner and you're dying, that's the worst time to be alone. You know
what's wild right now? This is very like the poll this year said that more people in the U.S. agree with legalizing weed. It's like 74%.
Yeah.
Than gay marriage. It's like 54%. Which is insane because gay marriage already exists.
Yeah.
And can you imagine like, no homo. Like, what are you doing? You're fucking putting your lips around that fucking bong there. What are you doing?
It's the most phallic thing ever.
It's crazy to me.
But there's still people that don't believe in, I'm just like, did y'all guys watch Loving versus the state of, Mississippi? That's not that far back that you could not be a black man married to a white woman. That was a case in the 60s where it was illegal to be interracially married. So I'm just kind of like, guys, y'all think they're not going to come after you? If you're just like, come on now.
Don't you think Christians would want gay people to be married? Because it's at least less sinful.
I would want them to be married because I want them to be as miserable as the straight people in my life. That's why
you said
you're married.
Sorry, less sinful. I was like, less sinful. Why? And I was like, because it's marriage?
Yeah,
well, you're married.
You can have all the sex you want in the boundaries of marriage according to Christians. It's like you
Okay.
can't have that premarital sex. That's gonna get you going to hell. But if you're married to her, you can do all the butt stuff. And I was like, can you?
I'm trying to remember the billionaire that is funding a big pro-lifer, but it's like it's actually like not only Christian, but it's like racist because they were saying like a lot of the Latino people that are coming in are Catholic, so they won't get it. They also don't have the resources, so they won't get it.
Yeah.
And so it was more directed at increasing the white population so that they aren't erased. And so that is a big part of the pro-life movement that they don't even talk about because the racist part, I mean, they're controlling the narrative so beautifully that like people are like, it is an interesting question because science hasn't figured out when life starts. You go, yes, they have. You don't know science. It's fine that you don't know science. You're not a scientist.
Oh, white erasure is behind a bunch of that.
It is absolutely
because if you go listen, and now here's my thing. I'm such a like I got to torture myself. I will go listen to some of the most racist things. I've been on like the Resistance Record website. I would go find these websites and like war the white Aryan resistance movement. I'd go on their websites and read their diatribes and be like, oh, they're crazy. But it's always comes back to the white man is being replaced in this country and there's too many of the Mexicans. We're going to be a minority. And I always would ask this question. Why are you so scared of being a minority in America? Do we treat them differently? Did you treat minorities differently? Now you're scared somebody's going to treat you like you did them? That's an interesting question. Why don't we sit down and undress that? And that's where, like it's easy to go to the website and then pick it apart once you're there. But my friends would be like, why are you on that website? I'm like, how do you... Even in religion, how are you mad at somebody if you don't understand how their religion works or the customs? So how can I be mad at a racist and go, you're a racist piece of shit, and I don't even know how your brain works or your thought process? So I would go to the website and read the rhetoric and then be like, oh, you're scared.
Yeah.
Okay, now that makes sense.
I think most people are scared. And I feel like that's why like my priority is connection over being correct. Because the assumption that I'm more correct than them, even though I can pick apart their argument, whatever the argument is just to assume that I have the most knowledgeable brain, which it's everybody thinks that they have the correct thought, or else they wouldn't think that thing. They would update their thought. So if we're all going around going like, all right, I have the right information, then it goes back to the curiosity thing, and which is why you went there. And I think
I would read it.
That's more interesting than it is scary.
Yeah, I would read it. And my friends used to be like, good God. I was like, but I don't know. So I had to go read it.
To be interested.
I'd read it and be crazy.
And to learn and have a conversation.
Right.
Is better. You don't have to change how you feel.
Do you think you disagree with me on anything?
I don't know. I haven't heard
Take
anything.
some guesses. Well, your lifestyle.
Well, that.
That one. Okay, I'll give you that.
Wait, and I'll give you that too.
I don't have a reason.
Bunch of breeders. I want that fight to happen. You damn breeders. I would be like, yeah. What about them? I'm sorry. I did a lot of harm in the breeding area. I did. Oh, I regret it.
I haven't heard much. I don't have a reason to think that I do. I can't. Nothing pops out. Okay. I mean, you're a great guy.
I will tell you somebody I'm like that with. So it's weird. I'm gonna say this, and everybody's gonna be, you're really friends with her? I like Kate Lois. Okay, but Kate is like probably one of the wildest people on social media.
Yeah. I actually haven't heard her name in years.
Yeah, she used to. Well, she's been so much better. She's just like really. She's working at a school. She's with her kids. She's been an amazing mom.
Is that a comedian? Or?
Yeah, she was in the comedy scene and she was a producer. And she just had some hot takes on politics all the time on Facebook.
Yeah,
unlike the comedy politics. And like honestly, pre-COVID. The politics scene here fucking sucked, and she was absolutely bang on in like most of it. Yeah. But all of us were like, "Oh fuck!" She's like, it was so scary what she was saying because you're like, "Well, if
she didn't give a shit about people's feelings, I'm gonna call this BS out." And that was what made me. And I had friends that hated her, and I was just kind of like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go meet her and get to know who she is for her for herself. And then there'd be times she'd say stuff like about the Kobe Bryant and the rape thing. And then I was like, well, I get where she's coming from, But also, he was acquitted, so
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have any takes on that.
Yeah, we would talk. So then I just kind of, once I got to know her and became a friend, I was like, I actually kind of like this lady. Like, here's my problem. I actually wanted to date her at one time, and one of my buddies met her, and he said, she reminds me of your third wife. And I went, I'm out. That hurt my feelings. He's like, I like her a lot, but she reminds me of this lady that you divorced already. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that may be why I was attracted to her.
I admire that. I admire people that can be so brutally honest like that.
Oh,
because I'm afraid to do that.
She would say things. Now, in recent years, she's definitely team turf. She has taken that stance on trans women. She is very vocal about that. And then I have trans friends. So there's this issue. Like her and I, she'll know, hey, on this issue, you're over here, I'm over here. But that it doesn't stop us from being friends.
Yeah.
And having this very, I love that friendship I have with her. But I also know there are times where it's like, we're both going to vote differently on this. I'm not voting with you on that issue, but I'm willing to hear your fears out. Tell me what your biggest problems are, and she'll tell you.
That stuff's interesting to hear, like a turf person to hear their fears about that.
Yeah, and then like
you know what, I usually just turn it off. So I was trying to think of what they are. I have no idea.
I don't either.
I do not. That it is one because I always go hear him out. You gotta hear him out. That's one I have not heard out. Yeah, and I still go like I don't think I need to.
Yeah,
and I go and
you're not wrong.
I'm
gonna be honest with you. There's some everything you need to hear out. Okay, I'm gonna be the first to say that. There are some people that I know are just going to say some hateful shit that's gonna throw my whole mood off. I'm not gonna give them the benefit of hearing them out. I was just like, no, fuck you, go die. Okay. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I will listen. She has taken some positions where I was like, okay, let me catch my breath. Why? And then catch my breath, she'll explain it, and I'll go, okay, disagree, but okay. Yeah. I heard you out. And then I move on with it. But yeah, she's definitely one of my dearest friends, and I love her to death. And
it's like having a dad.
Yeah.
My dad, but I go, he's not running anything. He's voting. Yeah. That's it. Like
right.
He doesn't even have kids anymore. Like he's not even influencing. In fact, him having all of the wrong ideas, you actually look at all of his kids, they have the exact opposite. So I'm not even concerned really that they're disseminating this information because literally all of his ideas that he would love to pass on, we didn't accept any of them.
Yeah.
So while I go like, oh, well, she has kids, we have to protect them. They're going to figure it out.
They're going to figure out what every kid, look, I have this going on right now in my own life. I have 7 kids, and 2 of my daughters one is bi, the other one is just recently told me, no, I'm thinking I was gay when I was dating that girl. I should have just stayed there. And I was like, well, yeah, okay, that's cool. So we just had this conversation this past weekend where my ex-wife, her mother is like, if you choose the gay lifestyle, you don't exist to me. And I didn't know they were even having this fight.
Yeah.
And I said, your mom and I are married. I don't talk to her like that. But to find out that my ex-wife is saying this to our child. And I was like, are you okay? Where are you at in that? And she said, the way you both handled the news is so wildly different. She said, you were like, I love you. I don't care. Just make sure she treats you right and treats those grandbabies right. I said, yeah, that's all I care about. That's the same thing I want for I don't care straight or gay. If you're going to date my child or marry my child, treat them good, treat my grandbabies good, and I won't come to your house and slam your head in the locker. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
And I don't care about that other stuff. I don't care who you bring. Just be a good person. And then she was like, yeah, mom said this. Then I had to tell her, well, the grandbabies are a package deal with me. And if you can't accept me, you don't get them either. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well,
good.
I know whose house they're coming to for Christmas.
Yeah.
I thought the whole time.
Good.
I was like, yeah, I guess I got to get ready for Christmas. Everybody's going to be over here this year.
It's odd that it's the same thing that I did with cocaine, which is like, I had a fear, I had anxiety. I treated it with this, which is push everybody away so that I can be okay. So your ex-wife was pushing these people away so that she could be okay. But now she's just going to look around and be like, well, I kept on being okay in these moments by pushing everybody away. And now I'm fucking alone on Christmas. It's like maybe the antidote to your problem is connection and love.
I just read that whole book, and I read the red letters. And if you read the Bible, the red letters are what Jesus said. And I never once saw Jesus say, hate everyone who does evil. He said, love everyone. And so to me, I have no concerns about what you're doing in your house. As long as you're not a rapist and molesting kids, we're good.
That's where we differ.
Those are the two where I'm like,
and regular murder and beating your wife and a bunch of other stuff.
There are some women I do want to be in an abusive relationship. There's some women that need to be here. I'm joking. Y'all are going to take that serious and clip it up, and I know I'm getting canceled. I saw you look at the camera.
Just for the record. If this is audio, Colton's shaking his head
depends
vigorously.
on what woman it is. but no, I mean, I get it, but it's also those things where it's like,
I don't know why they have to fucking make up a guy in the sky to be nice to people. Like, that's my fucking problem. It's like, I don't believe any of that shit. I'm still nice to people. How about that?
Just be nice.
I didn't need a fucking Bible to tell me to be like, hey, what if we were nice to each other?
And that's my whole operating stance is like, I really, like, I told everybody, I believe in the whole Sky Daddy story. The thing that used to bother me is I didn't believe in born again Christians because I rarely meet those.
They're usually real fuck ups.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, those are people that are like, I used to do meth.
Yeah.
And the only way I stopped doing meth,
Jesus saved me.
I went through some crazy shit and then I fixed myself. And then, but I'm also never forgetting like all the crazy shit I did and got like, I've had guns pulled in my face. I've done dumb shit and I've hurt people and I did. Oh my God. Oh, the sex. I do miss the sex like he misses the cocaine. I do miss that.
I don't miss the cocaine and I'm having still sex.
I need to go back to the kind of sex I was having when I was a mess. So that was the good stuff that made me go find Jesus. Okay. I want that sex while I have Jesus now.
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing it?
Oh, dude, I really did this last year. When I went through this third divorce, I was just like 2020 after I was suicidal. And I said, you know what? I don't want to fuck with anybody. I don't want to ruin another relationship. I want to fix me.
Yeah.
And I just took a break and I just concentrated on fixing me. And then in the process of fixing me, I had this conversation with a lady. I went on what I called the apology tour because I started looking at all these women that I had. We had sexual relationships with each other and we're still very close to each other and friendly with each other. But I realized I used hers. She was my cocaine. I didn't love her, but there was these emotions, and sometimes I played on those emotions for sexual gratification. And so then I went through this tour where I apologized to all these women. And it's like, hey, that wasn't the best version of me. And if I've hurt you, misled you, I want to be able to sit here and apologize. I now have so many more friends. Like, it was the most gratifying thing to do and sit with these women, and they're hearing who I am now. And I'm closer to so many more of them. But man, that's sex. Well, nasty.
What I like about
that guy.
Okay, so I'm just now really opening up my relationship because my husband lives in Minneapolis. I live in downtown Austin. But our rule is basically all the rules we have are like to protect against polyamory so that one of us doesn't fall in love. But now what that's had to do, and they keep on falling in love. And I come from like, why do they keep on falling in love? Like I thought I was being clear that I'm fucking married.
Yeah.
But it's because I was just like wasn't setting expectations of like, this is sexual. This is what this is. I'm going to come over and do this. And now I'm being like very overtly like direction wise. And now sex with strangers, the problem is that you don't know each other's body, right? But everybody just tries to guess in the moment instead of being like making an action plan. And it is the best sex like with strangers I've ever had. Like it's so fun.
Oh, the communication now with the women I'm starting to date now, they're very vocal. Like we're having to come in. Hey, I want to know what are the limits? Where are we at? Here's what I'm into. What are you into? What's something that you and now I'm having these communications with women, but now I'm going to the point where like oh, this shit's getting good and interesting.
Yeah.
But also,
Even just texting back and forth, making the plan.
That's
I'm
fun.
into making the plan.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. It's like it's beneficial and also like you could jerk off to it.
Yep.
Yeah, I got blessed this weekend about some stuff like that.
And I do.
Yeah.
I shouldn't look you in the eyes and say that, but I do. Actually, I guess I'll look at the camera. I do.
It is kind of cool because it will kind of kill the mood sometimes if you try something and they're like, oh, I don't like. Well, for me, because I'll be like,
what are you getting up to? Did you fight him? But you came back with food.
Did you beat up a homeless guy and take his food? Oh, okay. Dude, so was it that dude that was talking to me about the car?
It might have been.
He looked like he was Puerto Rican or something?
Yeah.
Okay, it was him.
Yeah. He was trying to break in. He just wouldn't stop.
Break in the club?
No, the car. My car.
oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was the guy that wanted me to go tell Darren he was always down, but I
His
see he
name
was
was-
down to rob cars. That's
His
what he
name was Byron.
Is that his Byron? Byron. You got to tell him I'm down.
He was
What? I
probably
don't even
mad
know
that-
you,
Well,
bro.
I was like, all right, well, I guess Byron has the keys.
You got to go out here and talk to him. Get
I
him some
just saw
counseling.
Shot Caller. That's such a fucking good movie. You see Shot Caller? It's
No.
with the guy from Game of Thrones, the brother who fucks the sister. And he joins the Aryan Brotherhood because he accidentally kills somebody. And they kept on going like, who has the keys? It's so fucking cool. It's the best movie I've seen
Really?
in a
Really?
very long time.
Is it on Max?
It's on Netflix, I think.
Oh, hell
Okay.
yeah.
I'll go
watch
pull it up and
yeah.
watch it tonight.
Wait,
I'll watch it.
great.
It's going to be better than that Deliverance movie I watched.
God damn it. Everybody keeps on telling me to watch that. And I'm just like,
Deliverance.
I don't think I
Dude.
care.
Don't.
Okay.
Here's why I say this. I love a good horror movie, and I love a great, like I say, I believe in the whole Sky Daddy story. But this was so ham-fisted the way they handled this story. And the real story of that lady, the Ammons lady and the Ammons haunting is so much better than this. And we're going to tack on this Jesus storyline in this. So it's like, why did you just give me a horror movie and not God's Not Dead Part 4? Just, what did you do here? It was terrible. It was such a bad movie.
All right. Now I am going to watch it.
Yeah, she beats the
kinda
demon by speaking in tongues. That's and
fun.
I'm like, girl. And then I'm up in there making fun of the movie, and I'm doing the whole thing from Michael Jackson's. I'm saying that the whole time, and my family's like, "Would you stop?"
They sent us pre-screening tickets, my podcast pre-screening tickets to a horror movie, and it was like All Quiet in One Place or something like that. It just came out. I think it was. I don't know, but it's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life, and I was just sitting there laughing so fucking hard.
Like bad. It was just
No, everybody else is enjoying it, but I'm like,
Right.
this character is literally acting insane right now, and we're just like, everyone's okay with it.
yeah.
Jimmy actually, I never saw the ending of the movie because Jimmy, my producer Jimmy Clifford, very funny guy, was so mad that he walked out of the movie
Wow.
because he was like, that dad needs to stand up for his fucking daughter. And I was like, this is the best movie. I don't need to know if they died or not. You being mad is so funny, Jimmy.
You're like, that's all everything I need to see right there.
Yeah, I was like, Jimmy, go to therapy, you fucking idiot. This is so funny. You didn't even pay money for this fucking movie.
Oh my
You're
God.
mad?
Oh my God! Yeah,
Jimmy
we're
is
watching this
passionate.
to the end. You cannot just leave on a free ticket.
Oh, we left.
Oh no!
I didn't need to know the ending. The ending was Jimmy got mad. That's
That
so
was the
funny.
ending.
I want to watch that one. Jimmy, hit me up with that movie that made you mad. I want to go watch it.
He'll let you know.
Oh.
He still gets mad you bring it up.
Oh, I gotta know the name of this movie, man.
All right, I'll leave it in the comments in the YouTube.
I love it.
Did I do this right?
Yeah,
Yes.
dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to know anything else?
I do. Let me ask you this: when you came out to your parents, was it a big deal?
When I came out to my dad, it was a drunken night when I was like 19. But I had never done anything. I wasn't really sure. I was kind of just like playing around with it in my mind. And I was like, Dad, I think I might be gay or bisexual. And he goes, oh man, well, we can get you a therapist.
Oh.
And I was like, well, that fucking sucks. So
Yeah.
I just like,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to like, and he meant it in like a Christian kind of way.
Right.
Like gay conversion therapy was in Colorado Springs. So like I was like, oh, I see the end of that. I actually don't want that guy's help. So I just figured it out eventually by myself because my parents were not around in my life. Like they didn't help me go to college, none of that. I didn't even talk to my mom the last 2 years of high school. Like not at all. So then when I finally told them, it was like I was telling them to like let them know I was doing something rather than revealing my true self to them.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I just do this shit now. So like if I'm saying I'm sucking a dick, it's because I am.
Right.
But when I told my sister, who's my best friend, she started crying. She goes, "Not you,
Oh no,
faggot!" And then she hung up on me, which is to me very funny because of it was like she felt pain. She was like, how could you do this to me? And then she was like, oh, I should be mean to him too. That was like a really crazy sentence. And that did hurt a lot. But then my other sister kind of was like, I remember her crying too. And she was like, this must be so hard for you. And I just remember being like, all right, you're making this about you now.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm like, all right, this is weird. All right. I thought it was my thing, but I guess it could be your thing too.
Know. Yeah.
And she at the time was going to a college where she had to sign a paper that said, I won't be gay. Like, I'm gonna be so Christian. I'm not gonna do anything.
Liberty University, because I know colleges.
She was at Westmont in Santa Barbara, and fuck you, Westmont in Santa Barbara.
I know what they're those. Oh my god,
yeah,
Bible colleges are the worst.
They were crazy, and they're paying like $50K a semester. It's like, why would you pay $50K to go get brainwashed? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're
dude. Did that for free.
Yeah.
They would always say the women that go there aren't going for degrees. They're going to find their
and
future pastor husband, and I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, and they all were married. And I remember my sister had a couple of friends that got married. I was like, yo, just to let you know, I mean, this is your friend, right? She's like, yeah, it's my good friend. I go, she's marrying a fucking homosexual. Like I don't know, like I could save this marriage 10 years.
Right,
like this is a gay guy.
Right.
In fact, like I almost made out with this gay guy. Like she's like, it was just a phase. I go, okay, well now you're being mean to me now.
No, yeah.
I go, okay, that's not how that works.
That
but
happens a lot though in that community.
Sure.
I know a lot of people that for years, like I would say.
My brother handled it the best, by the way. I just want to add that.
Huh?
If anybody always tells you you're gay and you handled it exactly right, it's like, oh, I love you. I don't know if this makes a difference, but if you'd like to talk about it, we can.
Yeah, man.
I just remember like, you're right. It doesn't make a difference. He goes, yeah. But if you want to talk about it, we can. I go, nope.
Yeah, that's how I felt with my kids. It's like, okay, does this change? Only thing that's changing for me is that all of y'all are coming to my house now for Christmas.
Yeah.
I thought every year, you're over there this year, you're over. Now it's just going to be, okay, every year
In fact, actually what it just revealed about the relationship that she has with her mom is that relationship wasn't about mutual, like, symbiosis. It was about the mom being a narcissist and, like, needing the relationship to be about her.
100%.
Bingo.
And there's a reason that we're divorced.
Yeah.
And I can still love her.
And I'll divorce you, too. If you ever get married to me, you're not gonna like that.
I'm just saying. I can love you, but no. Yep, this marriage is dead. This ain't for me. Because man, look, man, my kids, I've always told them, I'm ride or die. I'm gonna love you till they put the dirt on me. And I can't say that to my kid and then change it up because, well, I don't like who you're dating and I don't like how you voted and all that. That shit don't matter. That's my child. I brought him in this world, and I'll have to take them out one day. If they ever steal from me, that's when I'm gonna fight them. But
yeah, I try to because I'm never gonna have kids probably unless I get really rich really soon.
I want that for you.
I want that so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I want the rich thing for you. I don't want you to have kids. They're terrible.
Well, if I have kids, then I'll have a nanny. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Okay, I like.
But
this.
so I guess I get to treat the people, my friends, and the people close in my life like the kid. Like I'm just like, I want you to succeed, and if you're doing something, I'll go, oh, that sounds like it's going to be getting in your way. It sounds harder. It sounds like you're choosing the harder path, but I'll be here when you need me.
Right.
Yeah. I like
good.
that.
Easy.
That's a good way to do it. Hey, thank you for coming on the show. This is I actually laughed
thank
a
you
lot,
so
and we
much.
really opened
That's fantastic.
up. And I can't believe I admitted about all that violent past I used to have. I'm not like that now. Please understand. Please understand. Also, Justin. Yeah, I do have a lot of guns, okay? But I'm also therapy, so I'm very mindful where the bullets are going to hit you.
Very mindful where they're hitting you. Very demure.
That's why we do finger guns up in here. Also, Justin, watch the video because I did say this part about there are some women that I do want to see in abusive relationships. And it's a joke. Okay, I'll name her name after the show. I'll put her name in the comments.
Hillary fucking Clinton.
Nobody has a problem if I say that name.
Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah. I like Nancy Pelosi because she's got a big old rack for an 80-year-old lady.
She's got nice tits.
And
She
I
really
like her
does.
for her work ethic. You guys can find me on Some of This Is Bad podcast. It's a podcast too. Some of This Is Bad. Check us out.
Very
I don't know when
funny.
this is coming out.
What about 4 weeks?
4 weeks.
We're
Who knows what
We
I
got
am
a lot
up
of
to.
episodes in the can.
Check me
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, definitely. Please go follow them and check them out. And and also I love that show. I've watched some of your episodes. You and Dylan are a menace.
super
Yeah.
funny
Y'all are
podcast.
such a menace.
So good.
We do the same thing where we prepare nothing, but we both have like manic ADHD fire questions at us. So,
Literally perfect combo. You
Oh,
two.
it's so good.
yeah, we have our anxiety at going full circle is silence.
Yeah.
Really? That's-
Mhm.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
My brother is the
Yeah.
king of that shit. He loves it. He loves that I don't do jokes in the house to him. Like the guys y'all see out here, that's not who I am in the house. In the house, I'm like in front of my computer, minding my business, and I don't talk. And he's like, "You're not one of those comedians that's always, hey, let me run this joke by you." Say, "Oh no, I'll just say, hey, can I try this joke? Tell me what you think."
Yeah.
But it always having to be on. No, I like turning this shit off.
My husband hates comedy. It's perfect.
Wow.
That's
know,
wild.
I go. For a while I was telling him premises that were genius.
Yeah.
And he would hate all of them. And then I would be like, is it? And then it would work on stage. I go, oh, I need to have a different relationship with him.
Yeah,
He's not
yeah.
the stage.
Yeah,
Right. No,
that's
not at
it.
all.
I love that, man. I got friends that are on the
You hate
stage, and I have
comedy.
to tell them, but I have some that I do not run premises by them. I don't tell them jokes. So it's just like, you are here for different reasons in my life.
Yeah.
And comedy is not one of them. But they have supported. They've come out to shows. They have been the biggest cheerleaders. They've shared my content, but they are not the people I'm going to go share jokes with.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I know they have
And
a
that's
miserable
fine.
time sitting here, but they love me.
Are they watching this?
Oh, yeah. A lot of them are telling me stuff about this show.
They
all
are
the time.
not funny.
Yeah, we are not.
You're not funny.
We are not funny at all. This is a show you come to get sad sometimes.
Okay.
And I did have one of my friends, Ace, dude, he used to play football for UT, and he watched it, and he was like, he had to pause our first episode.
Yeah.
He said because it was too much.
Mhm.
Because we had very vocal conversations about suicide and where we were on our journeys. And he said I had to watch it in 2 parts. He said I had to listen, take a break, go for a walk, come back to it, sit with it. And I was like, I respect that. At least we're having the dialogue
A
now.
lot of
Yeah.
suicide talk in episode 1.
Lots.
Okay. And we can pain management podcast on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
and Jimmy.Moynihan on Instagram for me.
Mm-hmm. And I'm at Coach Silky on Instagram. And also, please, I'm just going to be real with y'all. Please like, subscribe, and share this episode because the analytics are screwing us up. How are we getting 400 listens per episode, but we only have 10 followers? Beyond me. Unless all of y'all will listen to the show 4 times. And
Yeah.
thank God if you do. But we can't monetize and get a season 2 unless you actually go down there and subscribe and like this.
Yeah, lock
if
or
you say in the
slam that
comments.
like button.
Please, yeah. So take that damn like and put it in a locker and slam the like over and over.
And then, you know what?
and then when the legs give out, you're like,
part
yeah.
of the episode. Go like, hey, you know what part
that's
I
cool.
like? And put that in the comments because that is actually going to help everybody.
Oh,
my
for
God,
sure.
So much so. Please.
What was your favorite part?
I like that I found out I may be a gay man. that's how I'm in the episode. I found out I might be gay. I learned some stuff today. All right, guys.
All right,
thank
cool.
you. See you.
Hi.
I have